Alright everyone, welcome to Green White Checker TV. Tonight we've got the Area 51 Cup Series tonight here at Phoenix. 100 laps will be the scheduled distance. This is also our second to last race of the points season for Season 5. You can see leading the points Maxwell Caldwell with 17 over that number 13 of Ryan Kelly. Jack Walls another 30 back from Ryan, 47 points out of the lead. And you got James Ledford, Dalton Hayes rounding out the top 10. Running in top 5, and then the remainder of the top 10 is Corey Lane, Chad Wilkes, Corey Cook, Jim Brooks, and Michael Spell. So drivers finishing up their qualifying laps here. So qualifying is going to be extremely important because it does also give a bonus point. So if someone is able to get that lap and get that bonus point, that'll obviously be a beneficiary for Maxwell or Ryan. So we'll see how their qualifying laps go once they finish up their laps here. And that'll give us an idea where everybody's going to start. And I'm saying it's going to be a handful for the drivers. It sounds like with this being a 1 mile track, we're going to be running the low downforce, high horsepower package tonight at Phoenix. So I think that's going to definitely give these drivers something that they're going to have to pay attention to and try to keep that throttle pedal kind of that they call kind of keep the drive as if you have an egg on the throttle. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. So we'll let these drivers finish up their laps, and then we'll pull up our starting grid in just a moment. Alright, so let's pull up our starting grid. Looks like not a lot of takers wanting to put some laps down tonight. However, Ryan Kelly is going to get the pole position by only 0.04 of a second over Maxwell Caldwell. That's going to give Ryan a bonus point right off the bat to close that gap down on that number 94 machine. Then in third, you've got Brendan Pastelacqua, Todd Merkel in fourth, Robbie Richards fifth, Jim Brooks sixth, James Ledford seventh, and David Patton in the 8th position. 9th through 16th, you've got Jack Walls, Mark Brown, Charles Johnson, Art Peck, Dalton Hayes, Doug Johnson, Diego Vasquez, and Michael Spell. And the remainder of the grid, you've got Len McNeese, Jason Bridges, and Nicholas Winook. Alright, so as I mentioned, so going to be 100 laps here tonight at Phoenix, and again, this is going to be one where it's going to be, I think track position is going to be critical, but I think even more so is going to be trying to keep those tires, especially the right side, right rear, keep those tires under control. So it's again with that high horsepower, it's going to be real easy to try to kind of just get on the gas too hard and try to spin out on the exit. So have a feeling we might see some of that tonight, but we'll definitely keep an eye on it with these drivers this evening. So waiting for that pace car to get rolling. We're on board here with our pole sitter, that number 13 of Ryan Kelly. He's going to get moving here in just a moment once the pace car starts to roll, and then we will get things underway in just a moment. Alright, so it's looking like we've got 19 cars taking the grid tonight. Again, right now, those top two in the points are 1-2 on track. Third place in points, Jack Walls is going to be starting in the 9th position, so we'll keep an eye on Jack's progress as the race progresses here. I'll say again, initial start here, they're going to go on green, and then all subsequent restarts, the leader will have control of the restarts, so that's obviously a big advantage for them. So wait for that green flag to fly, and we are underway here at Phoenix. Maxwell Caldwell gets a really good momentum through the top side there of 1 and 2. He's going to actually take the point here going down the backstretch, entering turn number 3. So it looks like lap number 1 going to go to that number 94 machine. Again, we'll have to see what the short run versus long run pace of some of these cars are, because again, you want to be careful not to overuse your stuff here. Don't want to burn up that right rear tire especially. So that's going to be definitely one to watch for, and of course can't get too aggressive on entry either, because that's going to burn up that right rear. So again, right now Maxwell Caldwell still leading the way in that number 94. Has a pretty good gap right now as things run here. So he's doing what he wants to do, try to keep that gap in front as he puts in the fastest lap of the race. And so I'm noticing when see if my ticker updates, it's showing right now the 36 of Art Peck as being out of the race. He is on track. Looks like he's on the tail end of the lead lap right now. So keep an eye if that fixes itself. If not, I'll try to make an adjustment under yellow. There it goes. Okay. I was a little curious about that, but so now we see Art in the 36 showing on the ticker here. And you see right now you got the top 5 all bundled together here. Obviously Maxwell Caldwell still leading, Ryan Kelly, Todd Merkel, Brandon Pastelacqua, and Robbie Richards here in the top 5. And saying they got just a small gap behind to the 76 of Jim Brooks, and then you've got Jack Walls right behind him in 7th. So right now everything holding pretty even. So looking at lap times though, actually, I mean, it's a little early to look at that, but I'll say Jack Wall's actually quickest car on track that last time around by about 0.4 of a second. So 83 car definitely has some pretty good short run pace here. He's going to try to see if he can find a way around that 76 car. But right now not able to do so, so we'll keep an eye on him. Say a little bit of a gap, will move around a little more here. Apologies for background noise. So let's see. I see a good battle here. Trying to see if that was. I want to say it's David. Yeah, there it is. David Patt in there, in the number 38 and the 68 of Mark Brown. This is actually for the 10th position between the two of them here. So looking around, also try to see if we can find where some of our bigger movers are. I'm still trying to keep an eye on the gap up front as well. Right now it's still holding pretty steady, as you can see, about that 0.2 of a second gap. One driver that has made up 4 spots in the start is that number 78 of Nicholas Winook. Started 19th, is up into 15th. Same for Len McNee, started 17th and is up into that 14th position. So good starts for the two of them. And actually, I think this time around, oh no, sorry, I'm looking at the wrong car numbers there. So actually now move Len up into that 13th position, so +4 for him as well. And then a little further forward, the number 28 of Charles Johnson started in the 11th position, is up into the 8th spot. And you can see now challenging the back of that number 83 of Jack Walls as well. So they talked to drivers a little bit about the track position and fuel mileage, things like that. So a lot of drivers weren't too worried about fuel. They're more worried about the tires here. I think they could make it on a one-stop strategy. So we'll see if that's able to pan out. And then I say trying to double check on a couple things, but yeah, so far so good though up front here. Everybody's holding pretty steady. As you can see, everybody's pretty single filed out here though so far through this race. See Todd Merkel now up into that 3rd position in that number 81 machine in that Ford Mustang. Say right now is showing up to 3rd, so you can see challenging. It actually looks like he's got a pretty nice aggressive entry there into 1. I was a little worried he was going to overdrive it a little bit, but actually stuck really well there for him. So I'll say we'll keep an eye on that as this run progresses on here. So you can also see, though, that 81 is starting to move around a little bit, running a little bit of a higher line. Looks like maybe see if he can get a little bit of a better exit there. However, that's going to open the door for that 23, Brandon Pastelacqua. He's going to try to jump back underneath here and grab that third spot back. And then you can see right behind him, Robbie Richards on 12. He's going to try to follow suit as well. And saying one thing you'll notice, they'll say, well, we'll jump in and we'll look at it next time around when they go through the backstretch here. You'll see those cones up against the near the track here. So basically what that means is so that's actually basically the boundary of the track. So you cannot go below those orange cones. Sometimes you'll see on restarts in the Cup Series race and of course other races at Phoenix. You'll see these drivers jump all the way down to the inside wall practically to jump back up. But yeah, so right now though, so that is one of the so they can't run. Oh, as I said, that contact between the 81 and the 23, heavy contact between the two of them. And it looks like everybody else is able to escape from any further damage. As I looked like I saw the 81 may have made contact with the 76. We'll take a look at his car as well, but see, waiting for the track to clear, and then they'll loop these cars back around. But yeah, heavy contact for both Brandon Pastelacqua and the 81 of Todd Merkel. Just unfortunate there. I think unfortunate 23 just at the wrong place at the wrong time. So let's go ahead and go back and see how this all unfolded. We're going to watch that 81 of Todd Merkel here as he comes out of turn number 4. I think we're going to see just that higher grip. I think you're just going to see it step out around on the back of him. And you can already see it moving a little bit there. Yeah, you can see the back end coming around. And unfortunately, that 23, just nothing he can do. Just wrong place, wrong time. Now, heavy contact for both cars against the inside wall. And you see the 81 come across the track. They see, looks like he shows it making contact with the 76, but I think they were able to get away with it. So looks like everybody's going to stay on the lead lap as well, which is obviously a huge benefit for them as well, as we're going to have some pit stops here at the first caution on lap number 15. Looks like pretty much 4 tires and fuel for everybody here under this caution. It's like Maxwell going to hang on to lead through that pit stop cycle. So we'll keep an eye. It looks like we've got a few drivers here getting some damage repairs to their car. As you see, 81 of Todd Merkel, he's going to go ahead and get that car serviced as well after the contact he had. Also watching the 88 of Michael Spell. He's going to have to start moving here just a moment. There he goes. As I say, the pace car wasn't too far away. And actually, he's going to have to hustle because we're already on the 1 to green here. And I'm a little worried that the 81 of Todd Merkel may get a pit penalty for waiting till the 1 to go to pit. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. However, this will be our first restart of the evening. And again, as I mentioned as well, from here on now, the leaders have control of these restarts. So that number 94, once that pace car pulls off the racing surface, he can drop and go whenever he is ready. And it's going to be up to those cars behind him and next to him to be able to be on their toes and be ready for this restart. We're going to watch this restart from the back of that number 94 Maxwell Caldwell, and just watch how quick the gap he's able to do with that opening for the pits and opening on the restart. And sure enough, you see right there off the bat, 94 gets a good start, able to get to the top as well to get a nice arc entering turn number 1 and 2. And you saw the 13 had a close there between himself and the 12 of Robbie Richards, but it looks like Ryan Kelly going to be able to hang on to that second spot so far. And sure enough, yeah, I see the 81 of Todd Merkel is in the pits, I believe, serving that pit penalty. But yeah, so looks like he'll cycle out probably at least 1 lap down, but will be the only car 1 down. As you can see, 13 Ryan Kelly all over the back bumper of that 94 car. Ryan trying to find a way around. He's going to jump to the outside this time. We saw that move work for Maxwell Caldwell. Ryan going to try to return the favor and use that outside to his advantage. As they go through the kink there in the backstretch, they stay side by side. We'll see if Ryan Kelly's able to keep that momentum going on the top and see if he can get a lap lead in that number 13 machine. But right now, Maxwell holding strong on the inside here. At the line, give that lap to Ryan Kelly. So that's going to be a bonus point for the two of them there. So they are even there. Ryan Kelly has the advantage on the pole, though. So it's going to be 2 points there, I believe, for the 13 car, 1 for the 94. Again, there's still more points available, of course, for leading the most laps. And there's also bonus points for no incident points throughout the race as you watch how hard they're racing here. Say they're going to be putting that one to the test. It looks like, actually, as I say that, Ryan Kelly's going to find a way through. Oh, you see Charles Johnson, 20. He's going to spin around on the backstretch. Oh, contact with the 78 of Nicholas Winook. That's going to put us back under caution. I think just those tires, again, as we mentioned, they're just trying to get things back going. Unfortunately, spun it back around. And it looks like 28 car has taken a tow. Let's go back and see what happened to Charles, but I think it kind of looked like the car just got away from him on the exit, which again is something we've talked about. It seems to be going to be probably a theme for tonight. So we watch Charles coming out of 4. So yeah, it looks like everything looks good. Oh, actually, you see right there, you see how he just got, or actually, it looks like something happened to that car. Actually, it looks like it just went way off pace there. Let's go back and take a closer look here. We'll actually go on board and take a listen as well. But it seemed like the car actually just kind of slowed down. Yeah, something must have happened there because just the way the car abruptly slowed down, just something seemed off on that one. So may have been a little bit of a technical issue for that 28 machine. So we'll have to wait and see what happened there. However, that being said, though, we are back under yellow, and we'll see if there's any pit stops. I think I saw a couple fakes being thrown. It looks like we've got our first taker is going to be David Patton in the 38 car. As I'm watching, 28 still sitting in the pits. I think from that tow, yeah, he's still having to wait. However, beneficiary is going to be this 81, I believe, of Todd Merkel. He's going to get one of those 2 laps back here. So after this one, he's going to be just 1 lap down. And I'll say it was a pretty short run there. Say they're showing 8 laps since they last pitted there, so probably about 4 to 5 laps under green there. And again, so now advantage is going to swing into the favor of that 13 of Ryan Kelly, as Ryan Kelly now going to have control of this restart here. While we're under caution, I'll step away for a moment, rejoin here on the 1 to go. Say right now we're on lap 24 of 100, so just about to reach quarter distance of the race. And I'll say again right now, our points leaders showing in 1 and 2 in the in standings as well as on the track. And as we mentioned, that 3rd place in the points, Jack Walls right now in the 5th position in that number 83 machine. Alright, as they're coming through 3 and 4, lights are off on the pace car. They're going to get things going again here. Again, that 13 of Ryan Kelly, he's going to have the decision of when he wants to go. It's going to be up to those cars behind him to be able to react. As there goes Ryan Kelly, gets a good start off the reaction. Again, you see him, they jump to the top, try to get that arc through 1 and 2. Again, you don't want to keep it pinned to the bottom. That's just going to slow the car up through the entry. So I say that's going to be a helpful way to kind of keep things going here as this run progresses. Oh, you see Jack Wall's loose there off of 4, keeps it pointing in the right direction. Doesn't look like he's going to lose any spots in the 83, however, they're definitely starting to bottle up behind him. You see the 48 James Ledford, Brandon Pasolaco in the 23. Great recovery for Brandon, already back up into that 7th position. I'm saying right there with him as well is the number 2, and that is Jason Bridges. Say right now these guys all fighting in the 5th, 6th, 7th positions. So up front, things are starting to spread out and single file as well, so definitely what they're looking for there. So you see a little further back battle here between Doug Johnson and Michael Spell. This is for the 11th spot. Looks like the 88 is going to grab that spot. And you see the 78 as well. Nicholas Winook trying to regain some positions as well. So right now it has made some gains though from when he had that contact also on that first yellow. Oh, we got trouble in the back there. I see Charles Johnson and then the 38. Let's go over to 38, David Patton. So that's going to put us back under caution here. Let's take a look here as they come out of turn number 4. See the 38 pretty high here, so I'm not sure where the contact came from though. So watch as they come on the exit. Oh, you see the 28 steps loose again off the back there. Say he's going to try to correct it and say, well, as we miss it completely, let's get a better angle there. So you can see him stepping out there, and then as soon as he corrects it, just hooks to the right. And then unfortunately, the 38 car, David Patton, just nothing he can do. And it looks like a little bit of contact as well for Art Peck in that number 36 machine. Had some right side contact with his car. But you saw there right behind him, though, Todd Merkel in the 81. Looks like he's going to get through clean here. So I believe Todd's going to get the benefit of this one, get that lucky dog, and be back onto the lead lap here. It's like a little bit of mixed bag on strategy. All right, so we've got our points contenders here going split strategy. You see Ryan Kelly, he's going to stay out. And then you've got the 94 Maxwell Caldwell. He's going to pit. I say the biggest benefit right now that Ryan has is he's going to have 4 cars with him here with Robbie Richards, Brandon Pasolaco, and Jason Bridges. As sure enough, here comes that number 81 of Todd Merkel. He's going to get that lap back, and so that's going to put the 81 back onto the lead lap. And so, yeah, so say right now, further back, though, we've got our pit stops going on here. And it looks like some strategy there for Mark Brown. He's just topping off fuel in the number 68, so it's actually going to move Maxwell Caldwell back a spot. It looks like everybody else here is taking 4 tires and fuel and possibly some damage repair as well, if not fast repairs. And saying that's going to put things back up front, though. That 13 Ryan Kelly going to lead the way here. lights are back off of the pace car. So we're going to get things going here on lap number 34. 67 to go at the line. So we'll see what these drivers are able to do here again. So going to have a little bit of split strategy here. Again, Ryan Kelly, Robbie Richards, Brandon Passalacqua, and Jason Bridges are all going to be on old tires. Mark Brown's going to be on old tires, but fuel on that number 68. And Maxwell Caldwell in 6th position will be the first on the 4 tires and fresh fuel. So we'll see what these drivers are able to do here on this restart. Again, we're going to watch that number 13 of Ryan Kelly. This is going to be up to him when he wants to go, and he is already up and away. And again, you see he gets a really good start here, so his goal here, I think, is going to be to try to stretch this lead out, while that number 94 is going to have to try to fight to get through the traffic here, as I think these two have been the fastest cars on track, but now that 94 is going to have to work his way through the traffic, which you can see he's already gotten around the 68 of Mark Brown, now working on Jason Bridges, and saying also through the same turn already working on getting to the inside of Robbie Richards as well in that number 12. Looks like he's going to grab that spot as well. So now all he's got between himself and Ryan Kelly is that 23 Brandon Passalacqua. Brandon's just going to move to the top here. I think he knows he's got the tires. But again, I think Brandon here is just going for some strategy to get that track position back after that contact he had. As I say that though, so he opened the door for the 94. The 12 is going to try to follow through for that 3rd spot. So at the line, still Brandon holding on to it, but we'll see as they enter through turns 1 and 2. Good battle here right now for 3rd. Looks like he's gonna roll out of here, give the 12 the spot for the moment. Although we'll see, he might try the crossover move. He does. He's gonna go from the top to the bottom on the exit. We'll see if he can do anything with. Can't quite do anything with him there. And then back up front though, things are tightening up with that number 13 and the 94. Again, right now Maxwell Caldwell on the fresher tires, a little bobble there off of 2. Doesn't lose too much speed there, but say Ryan Kelly though is going to have his hands full with this number 94 car here in just a moment. We're watching that 13 trying to hold that 94 at bay. You can see the 94 there running right on the yellow line. Say Brian not going to give him an inch though if he can help it. So Maxwell's going to have to work for this one, and he's going to send it there into turn number 1. Eventually it'll become turn number 3 in iRacing. Haven't got that done yet. But Maxwell Caldwell back in the lead now in that number 94 machine with that pit strategy. And also, again, as I mentioned about the 15 or so lap fresher tires. So I think this is a good, this will be a good thing to learn for later on the race. Well, now that these drivers are going to know, so we've seen how equal that 94 and the 13 are. So we know that Maxwell does have some pace advantage with those fresher tires in that number 94 car. A little further back, still a pretty good battle here for that 3rd spot. Right now still Robbie Richards holding on to it, but Brandon Passalacqua not too far away. Same thing with that 68 of Mark Brown. He's right there in the mix as well. Oh, as I say that, we got trouble in the back. I say the 34 Jason Bridges, he is around heavy contact with multiple cars here. 88 of Michael Spell gets hit again there. He goes around, looks like he makes heavy contact with the 48 of James Ledford. So we've got another yellow here with some pretty heavy contact. And it looks like turn 4 is going to be the trouble turn for tonight. That's where we've been seeing these drivers have the most troubles so far. And it also looks like it's when they're on the top side as well here. So we'll watch as they go through. You can already see the back starting to step out on that car. Yeah, you can see it already stepping out behind on him. And then he catches it, but unfortunately Jack Walls tries to get to the top, but just nowhere for him to go. So that's where you see the 83 and the 2 make contact. 47 Dalton Hayes, great avoidance for him. And then here comes that 88 of Michael Spell. Thinks he has it cleared. And it actually looks like he did have it cleared, but a little bit of net code that gets him the contact to the inside wall. to the outside wall, I should say, then back across to the inside wall. And you see the 78 Nicholas Winook actually able to gas it through that fight there, because then he gives a pretty heavy hit there to that 48 of James Ledford. So then James has to try to get it pointed back in the right direction as well. And with that, now we are back under caution, and we are having pit stops again up front here. So let's keep an eye on what the pit stop strategy is going to be here for these drivers. Oh, we saw right there Ryan Kelly actually stopped a little shallow in his pits box, had to step a little bit forward. So I think that's going to be an advantage to Maxwell Caldwell in that 94 car. So we'll wait and see. And yep, sure enough, there goes 94. As long as though Ryan, if he can hold second, which it looks like he will, I think that's going to be kind of damage averted there for him. So yeah, so say now everybody's going to be back on equal footing here. I say as we are on lap number 43 of 100. We're at 58 to go at the moment. And it looks like right now we've still got 18 drivers in the race. Len McNeese in the number 84 car showing as 1 lap down here. And saying he's right now behind the pace car, so I'm thinking that he might actually be able to get the wave around here and get back. Or no, actually I think right now he's going to be stuck as 1 lap down. My apologies. But we'll see. I don't know if he got the lucky dog at last time around or not, so it's possible that he may still have to make a pit stop as well. Alright, so lights are off, coming through 3 and 4. That's Caldwell. Let's watch Maxwell on this restart. Let's see when he's going to get going. The 12, Robbie Richards, trying to get the spot here. And it actually looks like it's going to be a little bit of a bobble for that 13, which might open the door for that number 12. But looks like Ryan's able to hold on to it here so far in this on this restart. And sure enough, Len McNeese was able to get one of those laps back, so he's now just 1 lap down. So he just needs one more caution here, and he'll get back into the thick of things as well. And as I said, we do have a caution further in the back. Multiple cars involved. Looks like the 388 of Doug Johnson. Unfortunately, it looks like James Ledford involved as well again. So last 2 cautions, not a good going there for the 48 machine. So let's go back and see where this all came about. So we're watching them as they come through 3 and 4 down the front stretch. And you see James is kind of in the middle here as we watch the 388 behind him. Oh, he just gets hit from behind, different braking points. And so, yeah, unfortunately, nothing that James can do there. So that's where the contact came. So heavy contact for the 2 of them to the outside wall here. I believe just the 2 of them are involved. Everybody else able to get away and around that one. So that is going to put us back under caution. And again, as I mentioned, though, I think beneficiary of this one's going to be Len McNeese in that number 84 Western Auto Machine. He's going to now get back to the lead lap because he was not involved in that caution. So when these leaders here get to the pit road entry, which I don't think we'll see, I think we're going to see some fakes here, if anything. I don't think we're going to see pit stops, and yeah, sure enough, there they go, jumping right back out there. Probably just a little bit of friendly play between those two there up front. But we will see, though, is we're going to see this number 84 car here. He's going to sneak around as my four-legged co-announcer here is commentating as well. He wants to know what's going on and why he can't jump on my screen and slap at the cars. So we're still teaching them. I say they're only about 7 months old, so they still got some to learn. And drivers that did pit, though, are Art Peck, Diego Vasquez, James Ledford, Michael Spill, and Doug Johnson. All those make plenty of sense, obviously, with the two being involved in the incident. And if you're halfway towards the back anyway, it's kind of, I think this would be a time to do something a little different, and just, you never know how it could turn out, and maybe it'll help you out here. I think on the fuel strategy side of things, though, I have a feeling, though, all these drivers now can make it to the end of the race. I believe the fuel window is in that 50 to 60 lap range, and right now we are right about at the halfway mark. I think we're going to probably restart actually on the halfway mark of the race. And that's going to, again, it's going to be that 94 and the 13 that are going to lead the way here. While we are still under caution, this will step away for a moment and then rejoin here again on the 1 to go. Alright, coming through 3 and 4. Lights are off on the pace car. Again, put it back into the hands of that 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. We'll see again if he's going to go early or late. You saw the 13 Ryan Kelly had to hold off the 12 of Robbie Richards. And again, a great start for Maxwell here. And you can see right away, though, that the 13 goes defense there on the start. And so, yeah, now actually, though, Brandon Pastelacqua, he's going to try to get around both of these cars through 1 and 2. Sends it across the top here. And actually has a pretty good momentum right now, but I think the inside line is going to hold off for the moment. As you see, Robbie sends it deep there into 3. Has to make sure the 388 contacts the inside wall and around, and we will be back under caution. A fortunate couple sequence of events for Doug Johnson there in that 388 machine. So let's go back and take a look. I think it looked like he just got loose here on the exit. Take a look, we'll watch that 388. You can see it kind of looks like he goes for the, so it kind of looked like he was going to go for the over-under, but actually then stays to the top here. And oh yeah, as soon as he gets on the throttle, that back end steps around on him. And so you can see the wheel all the way full lock to the right and just gets it straight as he hits the wall, but unfortunately that momentum is what sends him back around. Saying unfortunately that's the spinning him around is what's going to bring that caution back out here. Saying we saw him take a tow to the pits there. So that's going to put us back under caution. As you can see, Maxwell Caldwell taking it out on the cones. They did nothing wrong to him. I'm not sure why he's picking on him. But yeah, so unfortunately that's going to put us back under yellow here for a moment. So while they're under caution, I don't think we'll see too much strategy on this caution flag. So we'll step away for a bit and then rejoin here on the 1 to go. Alright, so we have some strategy afoot here. I'm not sure how it's going to work out because it wasn't that much of a run there. A couple quick caution laps. However, our second place in the points, Ryan Kelly, he went ahead and pitted there, took 4 tires and fuel, so he's going to restart in the 10th position. So he's going to have to get through a handful of cars here to try to chase back down that number 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. Saying Maxwell, though, he's going to have to do the same thing, get another really good restart here to try to keep that number 12 of Robbie Richards and the 23 of Brandon Passalacqua at base. We saw them both have some really good restarts those last couple times here. So he does get a pretty good start there. You can see that 12 Robbie Richards tries to send it in deep, but Maxwell not going to waste any time. He's going to get that position cleared. So you see those top 2 sneaking away here just a little bit. So now we'll jump back. We got to keep an eye on that 13 cars. I said that he's in the middle of a 3 wide, is smart there and backs out of it. So that was almost a big moment there between himself, the 83, and the 2 car. I would say that's definitely not what Ryan Kelly's looking for. Of course, he wants to maximize his position gains here as quick as possible. But unfortunately, it looks like he's going to have to be a little bit methodical through the traffic here. Is right now still showing in the 9th position, so gained 1 spot, but like I said, definitely not the progress he was probably hoping for, though, in that 13 machine. Up front, the Robbie Richards trying to keep that number 94 honest here. He is all over the back of him, so they're going to try to keep the pressure on as he goes through 3 and 4. As he gets loose off of 4, able to keep it pointing in the right direction. But I say that's doing that too much. That's where you start burning off the right rear tire. So we'll keep an eye on that as well. Looks like Ryan was able to get around Jason Bridges, so move Ryan up into the 8th position now. And see everybody's still about kind of single filed here. You see actually a good battle though between David Patton there and Ryan Kelly. This is the battle for 9th. Right now David trying to grab that spot. Looks like he will get the momentum out of turn 2 and grab that position. So move David Patton now up into that 9th position. Right behind him is that 47 of Dalton Hayes. Say Dalton showing in the 11th spot. And then right behind him, so of course we mentioned Todd Merkel there. He got his 2 laps back, so he's back on the lead lap here, showing in the 12th position. And then also the 36 of Art Peck. He is still on the lead lap in that number 36 machine after being caught up in some incidents as well. Oh, as I see the 47 there, caught the apron there. He's getting loose and is able to hang on to a great. So Dalton going to keep it in the right direction, and we stay green here. So let's jump back to the front. You can see, though, Maxwell has not been able to shake off that 12 of Robbie Richards yet. So again, I'm saying the thing is, when we go green here, these laps tick off very quickly, and that's going to be a bit of a concern, I feel like, for Ryan Kelly, because right now still showing in the 8th position. And actually, you can see he's actually had that 38 car of David Patton kind of close the gap on him a little bit. And so now Ryan's going to have to play a little bit of offense and defense as he tries to see if he can get his way around the 83 of Jack Walls, as well as that 78 of Nicholas Winook. So trying to keep an eye on lap times, pretty consistent. The last time by Maxwell Caldwell was fastest car on track. But you can see, though, still not by much, because that 12 car is just not giving him an inch to breathe still. Say Robbie Richards trying to keep that pressure on him all the way through, as Robbie runs just a little quicker that last time by, which you can tell, of course, by the gap between the 2 of them. Saying a little further back. So right now the top 3 ran 27.1s, whereas from everybody that were on back were in the 27.2, 27.3s or slower. So right now these top 3 right now are the quickest cars on track at the moment. So right now one of our bigger movers is that 68 of Mark Brown. He started in the 10th position, is up into 4th, so +6 for him. However, our big gainer, as we just mentioned just a second ago, that 78 of Nicholas Winook, started 19th and is currently in the 6th spot. So again, great recovery for that 78 car. But as I say that, though, under pressure from the 83 of Jack Walls. I'm saying this is going to be a battle for that 6th position. And you see there, the 78 and 6th, then you got 7th, 8th, 9th, all there right together here. Looks like Maxwell starting to sneak away a little bit from that 12 car, which is bringing the 23, Brandon Passalacqua, though he's kind of starting to try to put some pressure on that 12 for that 2nd position. As I say, when we were looking at that, actually looks like Ryan Kelly was able to get around the 83 of Jack Walls, so move Ryan now up into the 7th position. And as I say that, we have a caution. It looks like it may be the 47. It is of Dalton Hayes. It's going to be a big break, I think, for Ryan Kelly. He's going to possibly have to do some strategy. I'm not sure if he's going to have to take maybe fuel only or 2 tires, or not fuel only, but maybe 2 tires or stay out or something like that. But I don't think a lot of people will do that. So he's going to be in a tough spot, I think, in that number 13. As we watch the 47 car again, looks like trouble turn number 4 as they come off the exit. And you can see right as soon as it gets on the gas, the back starts kicking around. Again, tries to catch it. You can see he's working on getting it finally turned back, but almost a picture carbon copy of that contact we saw earlier, where they had it straight, and then as soon as they hit the wall, it spins the car back around. And I'm saying that's the contact that's going to bring that caution back out. I'll say he's going to stay on the lead lap, though, so it's a good break for him. Unfortunately, something happened to Len McNeese here as well, so Len is showing 2 laps down again, which he should be able to get one of those 2 back this time around. But I think we're going to see a lot of pit stops for leaders. I don't think we're going to see anybody stay out, including that 13. I think he's going to have to make a pit stop here as well. And yeah, sure enough, looks like we have the whole field in. So now it's just going to be about who's going to pull what strategy here. Yeah, Corey, that sleeping thing definitely will make it difficult to make some races. But say in your defense, though, your schedule is definitely a lot different than most of everybody else's. Say sorry you're not here, but hope you are doing well. Say I guess the next question is, what time is it over there for you in New Zealand? Alright, so you can see Brandon Passalacqua able to jump Robbie Richards in the pits. So move Brandon now up into the 2nd position. And then obviously another one we're going to be watching is that 13 Ryan Kelly. He was able to jump up into the 5th position, so good pit stop for him in that number 13 machine. So I think using that number 1 pit stall definitely had its advantage there for him. So that's going to bring Ryan back into the mix a little bit. As we saw, unfortunately, that pit strategy did not pan out for him in that 13 car. Tried something different, didn't work out. And say as we're going to be here, we're at 30 to go now. We're going to come around the line here with 29 to go. Probably restart with 28 to go. So now let's say this will be where the strategy is going to kind of change a little bit. If anybody's going to, if and when there's some more cautions, would drivers make pit stops or not? Let's say your track position is going to become that little bit more critical as this run progresses through here. At this point, I feel pretty confident that the 94 Maxwell Caldwell's probably clinched the bonus points for the most laps led. So let's say that's going to be an advantage to that number 94 machine. So let's say now again, it's going to be just those 2 competing for for the, obviously there's bonus points for winning the race, and of course bonus points for having a clean race with no incident points. We'll keep an eye on that. Oh, and yeah, so yeah, if you finish work at 6 o'clock and the race is at 11:30 your time, that's going to be a little difficult for you to get any sleep to be able to make that happen. So again, sorry not to have you on here, but hope you're doing well, as we're about to get things back going again with that 94 Maxwell Caldwell, and he is up and away. Another really good start for that number 94 machine. Again, goes straight to the top to protect that that arc entering the turn, as Brandon Passalacqua looks like he's going to hang on to second. And now Ryan Kelly's going to have to try to see if he can get underneath Mark Brown in that 68. Looks like he's got the move down the back. Now he's just got to try to complete it here, entering turn 3, and see if he can get up into that 4th position, which he does. So we have a good battle for that second spot. You see the 12 and 23. Looks like 23 is going to let him go on the entry, see if he can do the over-under. But that 12, Robbie Richards, hugs that inside line perfectly there through the turn. He's going to keep that spot. So Robbie will go get back to that second position here. As I say, as we see that 13, Ryan Kelly trying to close the gap a little bit here. But still, though, you can see that 68 of Mark Brown, he's not going to give up either. He's got a really good run going behind him. Saying he's definitely keeping the pressure on that number 13 machine here. Okay, Maxwell, though, he's wasting no time. He's running some of his quickest laps of the race there. I'm actually able to stretch it by a couple tenths just in that last lap alone. So you can see, you can see it in the interval there, about 0.8 of a second. So he's definitely going after it here as we see the 13 starting to close the gap on the 23. He's going to peek inside. Looks like Brandon's going to give him room as he goes through there. So as long as he gets a good exit, that should give the spot to Ryan. So move Ryan back up now into that 3rd position. So now he's only really 1 spot out of where he was before this whole pit stop strategy cycles through. Again, so unfortunately, Ryan Kelly going to probably chalk it up to a lesson learned in that number 13 car. But again, there's still 25 laps to go. Say quarter of the race distance still left, 24 to go, I should say, actually now at the line. But again, say if and when another caution comes out, that could definitely change things. I actually see there, Ryan Kelly fastest lap of the race, 26.637, as he's going to now grab that 2nd spot here from the 12 of Robbie Richards. So I think that 13 car is going to start putting down some laps here and going to try to keep that pressure on that 94 of Maxwell Caldwell to make sure he has to use his stuff up as well. Alright, so 1 and 2 in the points back, 1-2 on track as well. So now it's going to be one of those things, just got to really watch the lap times between the two of them. That's going to be the telltale to see how they're going through, especially now that they're both in clean air and got clean track in front of them. As you can see, they've got about a second distance between the two, so I mean it's definitely going to be a gap for that 13 to try to chase down. As we look at the lap time, that last time around at about 1/10 of a second for Ryan Kelly, so you can see the gap now just at the 1 second mark and starting to drop a little bit here. So yeah, so say it was a 9:13 for Maxwell to an 8:25 for Ryan. So we'll see, though, if Ryan's able to keep that pace up or if Maxwell's going to start taking care of his tires a little bit to have that advantage here on that longer run. And yeah, so last time by, it looks like Maxwell just a little bit quicker right now. These two are trading laps by maybe hundredths or so of a second. But you can see on the ticker, though, it goes between 1 to 1.2, just depending where they are on track. So I'm going to look at the lap times this time by 0.004 for Maxwell and 26.978 for Ryan. So again, about a half a tenth. So these two are just right on top of each other lap time wise. But although some of the drivers behind, like Brandon Passalacqua, he's still running some pretty good times as well. He ran on 0.58. So there's still some drivers definitely putting down some pretty good lap times as well in that 3rd, 4th, 5th positions. But say again, if we've seen like the top two though have had about a 10th or so on the rest of the field. But I still see that the lap times are starting to close in a little bit more. Again, this time it's about a 1/10.5 advantage Ryan Kelly. So he's doing all he can here in that number 13 machine, trying to see what he can do. So we'll right on board with that 13 Ryan Kelly and watch him work here through here as we're going to come around to 18 to go. It's a lap with Ryan Kelly on board that number 13 machine. You can see both cars definitely working as hard as they can here. As I was watching the 94 Maxwell Caldwell, looked like he actually was trying to use a little bit of the apron, as we had mentioned, to try to kind of not shortcut the turn, but kind of use the banking difference to help that car rotate a little bit. So we'll keep an eye and see if he keeps doing that. So you have to be careful. 1 and 2, you really can't do it. That there, it's just going to try to make you spin out. 3 and 4, you can really use that yellow line to your advantage here. Let's say, but again, that gap is starting slowly but surely shrinking a little bit. It was about a second or so. Now, let's say it's been bouncing around. But you see, it was about 7/10 of a second, and now it's back to about 9/8 of a second. So again, just depends on where they are on track. But let's say at this point, though, it's really either of these two definitely are going to be the two to beat. I think Brandon Passalacqua, he's probably one of the third quickest cars on the long run. But I think Robbie Richards also one of those top 3 on the short run. He's just been really quick and really good on the brakes in that number 12 car. It looks like he's starting to be under pressure from that number 23. So watching right now as they go through 3 and 4. You see Brandon tries to sneak underneath, can't quite do it. So now it's all about getting the power back down on the exit. So we're going to jump back up front to our leaders and look at the interval between the two of them. And right now still showing about that 6/7 of a second gap as we have 14 to go. So again, still plenty of time here for anybody to make some moves here, make a charge. And we've always joked about that 13 car of Ryan Kelly being Mr. Long Run. So can he do it again here? I mean, this would be a huge one for him. He really needs to try to do that. And you can see, I mean, that gap is visibly shrinking now. I think Ryan Kelly definitely is starting to show that long run pace on that 13 car. As you can see, he was actually about 0.2 of a second quicker than Ryan Kelly, or than Maxwell Caldwell that last time around. Watch from that number 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. You see that 13 car, and you see a little bobble there off of 4. Not too bad, but again, those are those little things that, especially when you're in the lead, the littlest things will bother you so much when you're just working so hard, trying to do everything you can here to hold on to the lead to try to win this race, and of course to help your championship fight here. So especially when you've got your championship contender there right behind you here. Like a pretty good exit off of 4 there for Maxwell. He's gonna maybe give himself a couple of car lengths there, and sure enough, yeah, just about 0.02 of a second quicker than that number 13. So we'll see. As say maybe Maxwell starting to use his stuff up a little more aggressively here and try to kind of keep that gap behind. Because the other thing that we've mentioned too is, I mean, sure, Ryan Kelly can get to him, but can he do anything with him? I mean, that's the whole other ball game there, especially at tracks like this at Phoenix. As we have 10 to go here, so we'll wait and see. As I'm looking at that battle behind, still similar situation there. That number 23 of Brandon Passalacqua trying to get around the number 12 of Robbie Richards, just can't quite get it done yet at this point. And then Mark Brown also under pressure from the 76 of Jim Brooks. So now got a couple of good battles here for the lead, but towards the front here right now. This battle for the lead is definitely closing. So again, it's going to be, what can Ryan Kelly do? Can he find a way around this number 94 of Maxwell Caldwell in these remaining 9 laps of this race? Alright, Ryan is there. Now it's all about where and when he can make the move. He's going to have to try to find a way, or maybe just try to force that 94 into a mistake, just keeping that pressure on him. But at some point, there's only so much pressure you can put before you're going to have to try to force the issue a little bit. We still got 8 laps remaining, 7 to go at the line, so you never know. As you can see, Ryan gets right to the back bumper, almost gives him a nudge there through the turn. And it looks like Ryan's thinking about trying to get to the top side of that 94, which could definitely make things different. As we've seen, sometimes that top line had some pretty good momentum entering the turns, especially turn 1 and 2. So we'll see, though. But you see there, Maxwell gets a great exit off of 2, able to put a couple car lengths between himself and Ryan Kelly there. So further back, things still holding pretty stationary. Robbie Richards still just hanging on to that 3rd spot over Brandon Passalacqua. Mark Brown doing the same thing with Jim Brooks. as we have 6 to go here at Phoenix. Again, I say Ryan Kelly's got to try to find a way to get around that 94 Maxwell Caldwell. Again, that's going to be some bonus points, which will shrink that gap in the points. I was saying that would be, I say he's going to need every point he can get going into Las Vegas next week for the Season 5 finale. All right, 5 to go. He is there. Again, what can he do, though? He's going to have to try something different. I think we've been seeing him try to do some different entries and exits. Oh, big wiggler for the 94 Maxwell. That could be an opening here for Ryan. Where's Ryan going to go, though? He's going to try the top contact between the two leaders. They're going to try to both save it. They're hanging on to it. They both keep it pointing in the right direction. Looks like Maxwell is going to get an advantage from that, though. He's going to sneak away a little bit here. Now Ryan Kelly's going to have to try to fight for that spot there, and he's actually going to fall behind. So now, unfortunately, Ryan Kelly going to fall back to the 4th position here. So it was an aggressive move by Ryan Kelly. Tried to get to the outside of that number 94 car, Maxwell Caldwell. Couldn't get it done. I say just a little bit too close on the entry there, and they made contact with each other. But again, great saves by both drivers here. As I say, we stayed green after all that, so we're going to come around here. Oh, as you see, the 12, Robbie Richards, he is loose further back in that 2nd spot, as we have 3 to go. So say right now Maxwell is just hoping and praying probably that this thing stays green to the end, because I say if he does, he's going to be in really good shape here to try to gap that points lead over that 13 of Ryan Kelly. As I say, Ryan's going to see he might still have a chance to get back into that 2nd position at least, as he's working over that 23 and the 12 car. As they come across the line, we have 2 laps to go. Again, up front, though, Maxwell Caldwell still's got the lead by about a second and a half, 2 seconds actually now, it looks like, over Robbie Richards. That battle here now on for that 2nd, 3rd, and 4th positions. Let's say we saw that 12 get really loose a little earlier. I say again, that's what we saw Ryan Kelly trying to do that last time by try to run the top side, get the momentum around, and force that car on the inside to hold that inside line where he can't get the power down. As we have 1 to go, that was exactly what that 94 Maxwell Caldwell was looking for. You can see the damage to the back of the car from the contact between him and that 13. But right now he's got smooth sailing here. He's got that checker flag in his sights. He's watching a little further back to see if Ryan Kelly is still fighting with that 23 car. So it looks like it's going to be a battle for 3rd between them. However, here coming across start-finish line, our race winner going to be that 94 Maxwell Caldwell, getting the win tonight at Phoenix. And we've got Robbie Richards, and it looks like, I believe, Brandon Passalacqua just held off that charging 13 of Ryan Kelly to grab that 3rd position. I'll move Ryan Kelly back to 4th. Mark Brown is going to round out our top 5. And then 6th through 10th, you've got Jim Brooks, Jack Walls, Nicholas Winook, David Patton, and remainder of top 10 is going to be Michael Spell. That was a great finish, wild finish between the 2 championship contenders. Again, teammates as well going into it. So I mean, I'm sure they knew what was going on, what they were going to try to do and make the aggressive moves and try to make something happen. But yeah, that was definitely a wild finish there tonight at Phoenix. So now we got to hunt down some drivers and have some chats with them. And so we got to start with that 23 car of Brandon Passalacqua, just hanging on to that spot over that 13 of Ryan Kelly. Alright, so let's go and pull in that number 23 of Brandon Passalacqua, getting the 3rd place run tonight. Started 3rd, finishes 3rd. Say, looked like you were a pretty good long run car. Say maybe didn't quite have the short run pace that maybe the 12 of Robbie Richards did, but say on that long run you were definitely there. It was just and of course I would say obviously you have to ask towards the end of that run there, what were you seeing when you saw that 94 and the 13 there getting together and nearing 3?
I said, holy smokes. I said something happened up there, and for them to be battling for the lead like that for the championship, you expect that from the two. Those guys are excellent drivers, but I was like, holy smokes, there's some opportunity to get a podium. Robbie was driving the wheels off the car, and I thought I'd be able to catch him to get into third before the incident with Ryan Maxwell. But I just couldn't get there. Whenever he'd make a mistake, I'd make a mistake getting into one, and he's a little bit better off of four than I was. So the opportunity opened up for me when I saw Ryan a little bit slow. Didn't want to race him as hard at the end, knowing that he's going for the championship. But I don't get many opportunities to go for a podium, so I had to take it.
No, I mean, you ran them hard but fair, definitely at the end. Like you said, I mean, I think they were going for everything they could there to try to make it happen. It was, like you said, it was a really exciting finish there between those two of them. And I mean, it wasn't an easy one for you either. I mean, you had contact earlier on, and you had to work your way back up through the field, saying just unfortunately nothing of your own doing, just wrong place at the wrong time. So I mean, I think you used a little bit of pit strategy to get back up there on one of the yellows where some pitted, some stayed out. But I mean, from there on though, you were pretty much top five the rest of the way. So I mean, it looked like you had a pretty solid car tonight.
Absolutely, yeah. I was hoping for that to get a long green flag run, like you mentioned. Looked like my car was a little bit stronger on the long run and not that great on the short run. So I was just waiting for everybody to wear their tires a little bit. But yeah, definitely needed to make some positions up on track via pitch strategy. It's you can be fast at Phoenix, but it's such a one groove dominant track on the bottom that it's hard to maneuver your way around traffic. So the only opportunity I had to kind of just get track position was to stay out for one or two yellows, which ended up being the best thing for me. So a lot of fun tonight. Appreciate everybody.
Saying so obviously there's a kind of a love-hate for some drivers between this package with the low downforce, high horsepower, and of course the opposite for the bigger tracks. Say where do you stand on that line? And say it seemed like you've seemed like it suited you pretty well to have all that power under your foot there.
Yeah, no, I like this package a lot more. I try not to get too involved in it. At the end of the day, we all got to jump in the car and go racing. Whoever's better is better that day. But it's definitely much more fun for me to drive the cars with a little bit more horsepower and don't have that big old wing on the back or splitter spoiler, excuse me. So I like this package. A mild track is a lot of fun, a lot of opportunity for mistakes. I usually puts on a good show and definitely enjoyed it.
Yeah, you guys definitely did that tonight. It was an exciting one to watch and to be able to broadcast as well. So great job for you. That being said, though, before I let you go, definitely got to give you an opportunity for thanks and shouts you'd like to give for that third place run tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. I have to give a huge shout out to you and Green White Checkered. I watch every race that I run in right after it, so I appreciate having the content. You guys do an amazing job, so much appreciated. Area 51, Charles and his admin team are phenomenal. I got to say thank you for them allowing myself and my entire team to join their league. It's a lot of fun, and then obviously my teammates at Dark Horse Racing, I have a lot of appreciation and respect for, and so just really a blast to run with everybody.
All right, well, again, congrats on the third place run. Got one more to go at Vegas next week. And then you got a little bit of fun runs, and then you can come out strong in season 6. Because you've had some teammates that said that you're going to be one to look out for. So I think you've been showing your strength here lately in the Thursday series. So look forward to seeing you go after it here in season 6.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
All right, that's that number 23 of Brendan Passalacqua grabbing the third place finish tonight in that number 23 Miller Lite Ford Mustang. Now we got to grab our second place finisher right in front of him, that number 12 of Robbie Richards. Let's go ahead and hunt him down here. Robbie started in 5th, worked his way up to the 2nd position. Had a couple challenges there at towards the end there, trying to, especially on those restarts. Robbie, you were one that was definitely good on the brakes. It seemed like, especially on the new tires. I'm sure you made those leaders nervous on a couple of those restarts because they would get in maybe a little less aggressive than you were able to. It would show a few times where you would get right to their back bumpers there.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I love this track. This is probably one of my favorite tracks. You can if you have your brakes set right, you can probably get in the corner better than most people. Maxwell and Ryan though, they hardly make mistakes. So in order to get under them, they're gonna have to slide up the track or something, and they just don't do it. So I couldn't get up under them. But I feel like if I could get up under them, I could probably get a shot at it. It was great racing with them too, and then you had Pasquarella coming up from behind me, catching me towards the end because my tires were pretty much shot. I was holding on there towards the end. He was doing a good job of executing those and closing it in.
Yeah, so it seemed like it looked like Brendan definitely had a bit of a long run car. You maybe had more of the short run pace. So say like you said, you're able to sneak away for a little bit, but then as those tires wore, he was starting to try to close the gap on you. We had a couple battles like that as well. I think Mark Brown, Jim Brooks had a similar battle there towards the end as well. But I'd say, was that something just the way you were driving it? You was maybe a little bit more aggressive on your tires than maybe those around you, or is it just maybe something that they had figured out a little differently?
Yeah, I mean, well, we were having a lot of caution, so I figured it was probably going to be continue that way up to the end. And that's the bad thing about running hard on the brakes. You tend to use your tires up. So, but if you have a short run, you might can make it work. But there towards the end, we had that long green flag run, and they were just able to pull away from me. I thought they were going to wreck up there, but I ain't sure what happened. I was able to get around Ryan.
Yeah, they tried to say, yeah, Ryan was trying to work the outside of Maxwell there, and looked like just maybe a little bit of a misjudge between the two of them. But I was the same thing. I was like, oh man, this is going to change everything, because I wasn't sure how they were going to gather it and if they were going to gather it. So I say definitely made it an interesting one at the end. Like I said, able to grab that second spot from it. I'm sure you kind of had some ideas in your mind though when you saw that happen.
Oh yeah. I definitely. If I could have got to Maxwell, I like to see what could have been done, just to see what we could do there. Um, but Ryan, I mean, I seen him in the rear view. He was trying to make moves on the outside. If we had another couple more laps, he'd have been right there, back at it again. So, them guys are good at what they do.
Yeah, so there's a reason why they're up front in the points. So saying this is an exciting one. You guys did an awesome job tonight. Definitely want to give you your opportunity though. Thanks and shouts for you for getting that second place run here tonight.
Oh yeah, most certainly. Want to thank everyone at Area 51, all the admins, you guys at Green White Checkered, y'all doing a great job at doing these broadcasts. Um, it's everyone's starting to come together and figure out how everyone's driving, and pretty soon I'm sure if we all stick together, we'll all probably get these things before too long. No caution or caution free.
Yeah, you guys have been doing a really good job, and like you mentioned, say as the season's progressed, everybody's gotten more familiar with each other. Say tonight was a tough one, obviously, with it being a shorter track with the high horsepower, low downforce. Kind of had to do that egg on the throttle approach. It seemed like it looked like turn 4 was definitely the trouble turn. So I don't know if did you have any troubles with turn 4 on exit a few times at all, or was it pretty straightforward for you?
Oh yeah, most certainly. I got pretty loose a couple times. It's just I guess with the tires being as hot as they are, coming off, if you get too much on that throttle before you're straight, it tends to kick out on you, and it's pretty unforgivable sometimes, if you ain't careful. So we're gonna keep this momentum up and try to get it next week.
Yeah, say one more to go at Las Vegas, so say it's definitely a place where you can do some gambling. So say good luck next week, Robbie, and it's always fun to have a chat with you.
Thank you, Gail.
All right, it's our second place finisher, Robbie Richards, in that number 12. So now we got to hunt down our race winner, that number 94 of Maxwell Caldwell. So let's go ahead and see if we can find him. And I actually want to do, while we're pulling him up, I want to go back and I want to see that lap between those two and see how that all went down, because that was a wild one between the two of them. So we're going to pull in our race winner here, Maxwell Caldwell. So we're pulling up the replay of that battle between you and Ryan Kelly where you tried to work the outside of you, as they looked like just a little bit of maybe misjudgment. But man, so you both had to do some pretty good saves between the two of you to try to hang on to those cars there. I'll say I'm guessing you had probably some nerves there going when you had that contact. Just once, I should say, maybe once you had we're done saving that car.
Yeah. Wasn't expecting the big punt going in the corner, but it was completely accidental. I mean, I know Ryan well. He doesn't race that way. We talked about it. We waited till after the race to talk about it because it was just 4 laps to go at that point. So we were all just still focused on getting the best finish we could. But he just went in and thought he was going to get on my outside when I started getting on the brakes. And I was trying to get that good arc in, and I knew he wanted the top. So I kind of went up to defend that just a little. Figured if I could take that line real quick, make him check up, it'd keep him behind me. Kind of been doing that the whole run, really. And then he sent it, man. Full send. He was committed, and he just got into me a little bit. But as soon as he got into me, luckily he didn't finish either one of us off. He kind of locked the brakes up, and we both recovered to get solid top 5 finishes. But yeah, that was interesting for sure.
Yeah, it was a wild one there. I'd say, saying it kind of the thing. I'd say the race kind of changed in two spots. There was at one point where you actually pitted and he stayed out, and even though it was only like maybe 5-10 laps or so difference between you guys on tires, those tires seemed like they made a pretty big difference for you. You're able to get through those guys that stayed out and then get right to Ryan and then get around him pretty quickly. And say so that kind of helped you control the race from that point on. And then afterwards, let's say Ryan, I think, tried a strategy call where he went ahead and pitted. But he didn't have a lot of people joining him with that. And so, say while you were up front, he had to restart. I want to say it was 10th or so. And I say it seemed like those two were really critical parts in the race for just kind of splitting this two of you up a little bit, and then also for you getting the advantage on him there.
Yeah, I mean, sadly, I want to say that I thought I had the fastest car in the race, but as equal as I feel me and Ryan were, I feel like he just had a tick, just a little bit on me. I mean, even in practice, we were swapping times within a half of a tenth, of each other. So, I mean, cars were equal. Driving skill was equal. I just knew I had to capitalize on this race. So when he got ahead of me on that one run, when I was taking it easy, and he went ahead and slipped on around me on the outside, I thought, oh, this ain't good, because he's starting to lead laps. And I needed every bonus point I could get. So when that caution came out, I thought, I'm not going to beat him doing the same strategy as him, so I'm going to split it up a little bit. Pitted. Luckily, a lot of people came with me. Yeah, I think in 2 laps, I was already back to second. So you have to maximize those tires when you get them. That way you're not burning them up, staying behind people. So once I did that, I just took a couple more laps, tried to catch Ryan. And once I got by him, I thought I was going to drive off, but then caution came out. But, man, it was that second strategy call when Ryan made that. I actually discussed that with him. And I questioned, I was like, dude, we've only had 2 or 3 green flag laps truly on these tires. Like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm just trying it, see what it'll do. And I was like, okay. And sure enough, we see it just kind of didn't work out there. And I think that honestly, that particular call really helped set up the rest of the race for me. It kind of helped keep me in control at that point. So I knew I could outrun some of them behind me. I felt like as far as long run, they had some short run pace, but not any long run pace. And I'm trying to learn from Ryan how to have long run pace, but I'm still not as good as the master, But I had enough pace to at least hold him off right there toward the end, and then he started catching. And from there, I just thought if I keep the bottom lane, maybe he'll make him work on the outside. And if he tries to take the outside, I'm gonna try to make that wide arc and kind of keep him, kind of be 3 wide by myself, I guess you could say, and just try to keep him behind me. But the punt, weirdly enough, kind of helped me at the end there. I think he got the worst end of it after hitting me, and the damage it did really didn't affect the car. I told him, I said, I was shocked I didn't have any more tire spin than I did there at the end, but I only had about 1 lap where the rear tires were kind of lighting up, and then the last 3 laps, it felt like it was before he hit me. So that was a blessing, but man, what a race.
Yeah, it was an exciting one. He definitely put on a show, and like I said, I think it was just he kind of had to as I was watching as I was kind of commenting. It's just like at some point he's gonna. I say you can. It's one thing to catch him; it's gonna be another thing to pass him. At some point, he's gonna probably have to try something. And so I'd say that we saw that move. I'd say just unfortunately that the timing didn't quite work where he was going to try to obviously get to your outside there. But it was exciting to say you guys again put on a great race there between the two of you. Like you said, I mean, going for all the bonus points, that's going to be critical going into next week at Las Vegas. Say obviously with the different package there, with the higher downforce and the lower horsepower, it's going to kind of keep everybody bottled up together a little bit more. So it definitely will be an interesting one for the finale to say. But again, I think you were able to maximize points tonight to help your cause over Ryan and saying it might be able to let you breathe a little easier going into this one.
Absolutely, and that was the goal. Me and Ryan had, with 4 races to go in the season, me and him sat down, and I said, okay, I got to win this one and this one because I feel like I'm better than you. And he said, well, I got to win this one and this one because I feel like I'm better than you. So I forget what race it was with 4 to go that I won a few weeks ago. I forget actually what that track was now, but I know last week Ryan was calling that he was going to win Dover. Sure enough, he went and put on a show. I was calling all week that I was going to try to win Phoenix because he said he wasn't so good there. Don't know how I really honestly pulled that off, but we did. And so he's called that he's going to win Vegas. So I said, man, if he's going to win Vegas, I gotta put as big of a buffer as I can. And honestly, the last time I remember going to Vegas last season, I don't know what was going on, but I did not run well. I think I barely squeezed out a 10th place finish. And so I was kind of thinking that in the back of my head too. If Ryan led a lap, led the most laps, got the pole and got the win, and I finished 10th, I don't know that 17 points was going to be enough to hold him off. So I'm trying to get as big of a buffer as I can just in case the race doesn't go as planned at Vegas. Now, I'm hoping I'm do better this season than I did last season, but I just, something felt weird, I guess, to me last race because I just had no speed at Vegas. So we'll see how next week goes. But, man, this is exactly what I had to do tonight. And I don't know how I pulled it off. I missed the pole. And obviously with the hit, me and Ryan both missed the bonus points for staying incident free, but led a lap, led the most laps, won the race. I can take that and go with it and see how it shakes out for next week. So,
yeah, I'll say with all things equal, so you'll definitely stretch that points lead over him a little bit. So I'll probably be, I'm guessing, that 25 or so point range. I'm guessing for 17 going in. So that's my rough estimate. I don't have the numbers on hand, but yeah, it's going to be an exciting one. You guys put on an awesome show tonight. So congrats on that win. So I just wanted to go next week at Vegas. But of course, got to give you your opportunity. Any thanks, shouts you'd like to give for pulling off the win here this evening?
I mean, I say it week in and week out. I mean, Ryan Kelly, as much as we're challenging each other for this championship, and we may not be telling each other everything, really in practice sessions, we're showing each other tire wear. We're talking about how we feel on each run. If one of us is struggling somewhere else, we kind of help, kind of guide and talk about pointers on the track to break and this and that. Like, we just work really well together. And I think it's awesome that because of that teamwork, we're just 1 and 2 and just really blitzing the points this year. So I think that's awesome. I mean, obviously, I'm glad I'm on the top side of it since he won last season. I told him since he won last season, he's got to let me win this season, but I don't think he's letting me do anything. So, I mean, he's helped challenge me to be better. And so I like to thank Ryan Kelly just for being an awesome teammate. And even though we had contact there, like I said, it was completely unintentional, and that's a rare thing. And we both recovered and run well around each other, and I trust him. I trust that I can race as hard as I can around him. But also Larry Yingling kind of helping really both of us on the box with strategies and different things. Obviously, he's helping Ryan more than me, being his official crew chief, but we kind of all work together a little bit to pull all these 1-2 finishes off. So it's been pretty awesome the past few weeks. So I'd like to thank those guys. Roy Wheeler for sponsoring the car. Appreciate him painting this hot rod up. I'm going to see if maybe after this season he can paint me another one up. Looks pretty good. So thank Roy Wheeler for that, and just honestly something I've been meaning to do for a long time and ain't done. Just thank Jesus Christ, my Lord, for allowing me to race and do all this. Without him, I couldn't do anything. So just shout outs there, man. It's awesome.
Congrats on the win. It's an exciting finish again. So I look forward to seeing you there at Las Vegas next week in a battle for that championship. Congrats again, Max. I'll look forward to catching you next week. And so we'll see if you're able to hold off that 13 and get that Season 5 championship over here.
Good. Thank you for the broadcast. Awesome job as always.
So you guys make it easy for me, I feel like. So I appreciate this. It means a lot. And as I enjoy doing it and look forward to keep going on through Season 6 and beyond.
Sir, we'll see you at Vegas.
All right, there's our race winner, Maxwell Caldwell. So while we're watching him do those burnouts down the front stretch, let's go ahead and go through our points, or our final results, I should say, for tonight's race. So our race winner, Maxwell Caldwell, able to get the win here. So you saw that late contact between him and Ryan Kelly, able to move Robbie Richards, Brandon Pastelacqua up to second and third. Ryan Kelly still recovers for that fourth spot. In fifth, Mark Brown just holds off the 76 of Jim Brooks. You got Jack Walls in seventh, Nicholas Winook up to the eighth spot, David Patton ninth, Michael Spell with the top 10. Then 11 through 19, Dalton Hayes recovers for the 11th place finish after he had some contact towards the end of the race. Jason Bridges, James Ledford. James definitely did not have the night he was looking for, just got caught up in some other people's issues, unfortunately, none of his own doing. And you got Todd Merkler, 14th, Art Peck, Diego Vasquez, Len McNeese, and unfortunately early retirements for Doug Johnson and Charles Johnson. Alright, with that, we've got one race to go here. Next week, going to be at Las Vegas. That's going to be for all the marbles. To say, if there's a place to gamble, Las Vegas is going to be the place to do it. So again, congratulations to our top three. Of course, to Maxwell Caldwell, our race winner as well. So he did what he needed to do there to try to pull off the win. Saying an exciting finish, though, between himself and Ryan Kelly at the end. So yeah, so next week we will be at Las Vegas here. Saying this will be next week. Tonight is is obviously Thursday. So happy Friday Eve. We'll be back on Sunday for the Super Speedway Cup Series. Same thing for them, second to last race of the season there. And then we will be going into our Season 5 finale starting on Tuesday with the Indy Series, Wednesday with the 87 Cup Series, and of course Thursday with the Cup Series. And then we'll finish things off on Sunday with the Super Speedway Cup Series finale. So look forward to hopefully catch you all there watching that one. Again, really want to appreciate all the want to thank you all for the support. Really appreciate it. Everybody who's been viewing and sharing the links and broadcasts and everything like that. It means a lot. I say it's been a lot of fun being able to be a part of this with the Area 51 Racing League. So again, I want to thank them all for giving me this opportunity to get Green White Checker TV up and running. So I think there's definitely a lot more that we can do and a lot more room to grow and improve as the seasons progress. So I want to thank them, and again, really appreciative of them for letting me be a part of this. It's been an honor and a privilege. So look forward to catching you all again on Sunday evening. And of course, until then, if you can, try to stay home, stay safe, wash your hands, and until Sunday, have a good night.